The news starts now.
By nightfall, some swollen rivers slipped back below their banks. But inside places like Second Harvest Food Bank, the damage was done.
I think the biggest thing that hurts our hearts most of all is that we can't get this food to the needy tomorrow, and it looks like we won't be able to get that food to the needy until next Monday.
In Newmarket, torrential rains flooded neighborhoods and triggered rescues of both people and their pets.
The cars are loaded right now.
Across Knoxville, our cameras captured car after car stalled in high water. Rain fell in some places at more than an inch an hour, catching driver after driver by surprise.
It's really bad and dangerous out here.
Pictures from 10 News viewers poured into our newsroom, capturing a similar scene north, south, east, and west of Knoxville.
Free at last!
Teachers celebrate along with students after floodwaters surrounded them inside Holston Middle School, keeping them trapped for more than 2 hours.
But it will take days, if not weeks, to clean up much of the damage from downpours East Tennessee hasn't seen in a decade.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Robin Wilhoit.
And I'm John Becker. Tonight, East Tennessee is trying to dry out. One of the main roads heavily impacted by today's flooding was Broadway in North Knoxville.
Today's rain flooded the road in several locations. 10 News reporter Allison Bybee was live waiting in what looked like a river all day long. She's back out tonight. Allison, is the water finally going down where you are?
Oh my goodness, Robin and John, right now all I can say is wow. I mean, are you kidding me? This is all right below me that really remains out here on Broadway. We've just kind of got a muddy mess. So we were out here for hours. Broadway here completely shut down as First Creek overflowed, making this basically a river. And now it kind of seems like nothing even happened.
Broadway looked more like a river.
With so many stranded vehicles, it's really bad and dangerous out here.
In North Knoxville, near Shoney's, cars were stranded left and right as people tried to beat the rising floodwaters. Fountain City saw much of the same. Wilnisha Smith and her mother, they thought they could make it across.
We chanced it. We was trying to go to McDonald's.
Not a good idea.
But they soon learned there was no beating this storm.
We're stuck here, but we're just fine.
Car after car was left abandoned on Broadway. Down at the Broadway Shopping Center, the water was so high, the road was shut down.
This is crazy.
Preston Finoglio braved the rain with his truck. First Creek overflowed its banks, spilling out, making the 4-lane road impassable.
This is amazing. I've never seen it like this.
This is the water. This is actually a middle of the road here at the Broadway Shopping Center, and this is what it was like just after 5 o'clock. Take a look. A man trying to kayak.
Some people tried to go up Broadway with a paddle.
That's insane.
He's got the right idea, but the wrong street.
Richard Merritt said he had to take advantage of this makeshift river with his kayak.
They say a foot of water move a car. Well, foot of water moved that kayak.
Finally, the sun came out and the water slowly receded. But this day didn't end without plenty of pictures to document the rare occasion.
Never seen it like this.
It was like probably along in this area.
It's a message crafted nearly 70 years ago, 1943, a different time.
It had one little torn spot on it.
With words penned from someone named Maxie to a friend, Louis.
Hit your wagon to a star, you know, and some remembrances during the school days and this sort of thing.
Those words of encouragement still ring from the paper that dropped from the sky into James Hagan's front yard in McMinn County.
We've accumulated sentimental things over the years, and I know that if we were in a tornado like that and lost a bunch of our personal things, we would like them back.
The only clue as to who was holding on to that keepsake, a vague old address, Route 2, Fort Payne, Alabama. And as we set out along that old rural stretch,
at first it was flipped over, so we didn't even know what it was.
Countless other East Tennesseans have received similar deliveries.
The picture of the children was actually found right back in this area here.
Anthony Cacavelli's family found a pair of photographs at their home south of Maryville.
It doesn't even look like it was damaged. It don't even look like it was wet. So that was kind of kind of odd. It looked like one you would just go get out of the drawer in the house.
A little digging, and the help of a Facebook site clued them in. A Ringgold, Georgia twister took both these children, Cody and Chelsea Black, along with their parents.
Yeah, finding out they were deceased was, yeah, it was hard. That was hard.
Hubert Wooten from Rainsville, Alabama, is gone as well.
It was heartbreaking.
After finding both moments in time 150 miles from home, the Cacavellis plan to return both to surviving family members.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Wish that we could have met them under better circumstances.
In Alabama, Old Route 2 is roughly the same path at least 3 different deadly twisters took in late April.
There's nothing left at Dad's. The land is completely leveled.
Best guess is the old letter came from somebody along this stretch, community of Sylvania, just outside Fort Payne.
Out of all of the devastation, it turns out the old letter from Maxie to Louise, that's not the only thing that made its way from Old Route 2 in Fort Payne, Alabama, to East Tennessee.
Nice to meet you too. Love your necklace. It's of hope.
Tiffany Davis's father lived on that same stretch of Route 2, a spot that saw 190 mile-per-hour winds.
You're still in that. Please hang. It's Jacob.
This marks 3 photographs from Dad's destroyed mobile home that Davis has recovered.
To know that that was torn from someone's home, that was very important to somebody. So I felt like they needed that back.
It won't build back the now smashed shelter or rehab that crushed car.
And I've seen that picture on your mantle for years, you know.
But in many of these cases, the small 4x6 image means much more.
And just for them to get back 3 pictures of that, it's something that they're never going to get back again, you know. And if those people wouldn't have done that, they wouldn't have had that. So it means the world to me.
Unfortunately, a similar reunion won't be as easy for Maxie's letter to Louise in a neighborhood that's still in shock. Those storms took at least 33 people from DeKalb County, Alabama, and amid the rebuilding community, we couldn't find anybody who recalls either woman on the page. But James Hagan says he'll keep looking.
We would like to see it get back to its original owner, you know, and I'm kind of glad we didn't throw it away, you know.
Until the final line gets delivered to those who need it most. May there be enough clouds in your life to make a golden sunset. Remember me always as one of your many friends. Love, Maxie. In Fort Payne, Alabama, Anthony Welch, 10 News.
This is 10 News at 6.
You have the whole personal aspect going on in the midst of taking on all this new responsibility and hiring a team and dealing with a hard budget, and your life changed.
He is a native son of Knoxville, the city's former mayor, and now the first ever Knoxvillian by birth to be elected to the state as its governor. And Bill Haslam is now hours away from becoming the state's 49th governor. Good evening from Nashville. I'm John Becker.
And I'm Robin Wilhoy. Thanks so much for joining us. This is not only a moment in history for the Haslam family, but also the city of Knoxville and the state of Tennessee. We had the opportunity earlier today to sit down with Governor-elect Haslam to talk about a number of things, but a headline that came out of our discussion focuses on a key position in his administration, that of Commissioner of Education.
He confirmed for us that Dr. Jim McIntyre, the superintendent of schools in Knox County, is indeed on the short list. He hasn't been selected, but just on the short list. That's how the governor-elect put it.
Well, we want to step back and take a look back at the week that Governor-elect Haslam has had. It's been a very, very busy one. It began with what they call regional celebrations that went from one end of the state to the other. They were events where people could come and meet firsthand with the governor-elect and his wife, Chrissy. On Monday, they met with around 200 supporters in Upper East Tennessee and Kingsport. But Tuesday, unfortunately, the tour could not escape the snow. Treacherous travel conditions drove the governor-elect to cancel that pre-inaugural celebration in Chattanooga.
And then on Wednesday, they moved west to Jackson and also to Memphis, and then rounded out that tour on Thursday in Knoxville with about 1,000 supporters at the Foundry. Back here live in Nashville, we did have a chance to sit down, as Robin mentioned, one-on-one with the governor-elect a little bit earlier today. We talked about what themes he will transpose and really try to emit to people during that speech tomorrow. what he wants people to take away from his inaugural speech. He talked about 3 things specifically. Here's what he had to say.
These are challenging times, and we have real budget issues, and we're going to have to make hard choices. I think that's the first thing. The second is this, is the key to who we are as a state in the future is education. And quite frankly, in a few things in Tennessee, we've shot too low over time. The health of our citizens, education, and there's some other things like that. But I'm going to talk a lot about why education is so critical, and it's not just a buzzword for that. And the third thing is this, is we're going to be all about making Tennessee the best location in the Southeast for creating jobs.
Straight from the heart of East Tennessee, this is 10 News at 6.
God's still God, you know. Nobody got hurt. That's what we're thankful for.
The people of Greenback are counting their blessings as they begin to sort through the piles of rubble left behind by a tornado with winds of more than 130 miles an hour. Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Robin Wilhoit. John Becker has the day off. Families in the Greenback community are cleaning up after a tornado swept through their community late last night, leaving behind a path of destruction. Here's an aerial look at that damage stretching along Highway 411. The tornado leveled homes and damaged businesses, including a car lot and a boat facility. Fire officials in Greenback and Blount County told 10 News the path of damage is about a half-mile wide and 3 to 4 miles long. Now, officials have worked throughout the day to assess the damage as residents sift through the rubble and try to pick up the pieces. 10 News anchor Russell Biven and Chief Meteorologist Todd Howell join us now live from Highway 411 in Greenback, where they have been all day long with more on the storm's aftermath. Guys.
All right, Robin, and you said it best. They are thankful, and they are, despite all the damage, despite everything they've been through. Everybody we talked to down here, Todd, says they are thankful because nobody was killed, nobody was seriously hurt, and they're thankful for their community because we're going to be showing video here in a moment. They really do come and help each other around here like we're all supposed to do.
It's the East Tennessee volunteer spirit at work.
Yeah. The news starts now.
Drains you emotionally, physically.
2 families face the possibility of 4 new trials. Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Robin Wilhoit. John Becker has the night off. We are learning much more tonight about what led a judge to grant new trials for the 4 people who were convicted in connection with the deaths of Chris Newsom and Shannon Christian. The Knox County couple was carjacked, kidnapped, raped, and murdered back in January 2007. Latavis Cobbins, Lamarcus Davidson, George Thomas, and Vanessa Coleman were previously convicted in the case. But all of that is thrown out now, and the suspects will start fresh. Judge Blackwood granted the new trials because of the conduct of former Judge Richard Baumgartner, who presided over each of the original trials. He was disbarred back in October after pleading guilty earlier in the year to 1 count of official misconduct for prescription drug abuse. Today, Judge John Kerry Blackwood revealed details of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation file looking into Baumgartner's actions and said it contained enough evidence to suggest that Baumgartner was impaired during the trials. 10 News reporter Jim Matheny joins us now. And Jim, the details of just how far Baumgartner went to feed his drug addiction, it really shocked a lot of people in court today.
Yeah, it really did. The file showed Baumgartner's addiction. It spanned several years. He abused his position as a judge to get those pain pills, and he even helped get drugs for other addicts. And the timeline shows he did this before, during, and after the murder trials that consumed this community. Judge Blackwood presented a timeline that showed Baumgartner began doctor shopping for pain pills in 2008, using 5 different doctors for those prescriptions. Baumgartner admitted to one doctor that he was addicted to pain pills, and that doctor told him he should step down from the bench. But Baumgartner refused and kept feeding his addiction, not only through legitimate doctors, but Baumgartner bought thousands of pills illegally through street drug dealers and set up a lot of those deals at work.
Every time he used that phone in his office to make a drug deal was a crime, and it extended for a long period of time.
The TBI file says one of Baumgartner's main sources on the street was Dina Castleman, a woman who graduated from his drug court in 2006 and came to him for help to get a job in 2008. Instead, Baumgartner used her for drugs.
And didn't she have at least the right to keep that judge from turning her right back into being a drug addict so he could get his fix?
Blackwood says Baumgartner routinely went to Castleman during lunch breaks to buy and use drugs, and their relationship also became sexual, sometimes in his court office.
On 3 occasions, Ms. Castleman testified they had sexual relations right back to that.
When Castleman was arrested, Baumgartner paid her bond and hired her an attorney. And the TBI file shows Baumgartner also approached other judges and prosecutors to try to help Castleman stay out of jail. The file also says Baumgartner helped Castleman fake a drug test so she could live at the YWCA. But when that test still came back positive, he then personally called the YWCA and lied, saying Castleman's test showed she was clean.
And I don't know whether you call that judicial corruption, stupidity, or arrogance. I don't know. But I call it committing a crime. He knows it. He knows it.
And believe it or not, that is all just scratching the surface. There's a lot more to this case, a lot more evidence of Baumgartner's behavior. And there are also some cases where people noticed that his behavior was odd and tried to do something, make sure he was okay, and in some cases said, hey, you either need to step down off the bench, get recovered, or whatever the case may be. But you can read a lot more about that and also see that full slideshow that we showed you in the courtroom. That is the judge's presentation on that evidence. For yourself, you can read it at WBIR.com. But, Robin, for now, we'll send it back to you.
It is as tall as a football field, and its blades as long as the wingspan of a 747 jumbo jet. And that is just one wind turbine. Times that by 150, and you have the Streeter Coogee Ridge Wind Farm here in Odell, Illinois.
After several days of setup, it's the final hours before the scheduled show. The 3 East Tennessee pyrotechnicians find themselves headed out to an old, basically abandoned fueling station, located just a few football fields off the shore at Guantanamo Bay.
Today on Live at 5 at 4, we're celebrating twin sisters who are like family to us, Helen and Ellen of the Love Kitchen.
We got 2 twins, so it's too much for one person to do.
For weeks, area businesses and volunteers have worked on the home of Helen Ash. And tonight, Helen and Ellen will see the results of this labor of love. And you will see it with them on this special Live at 5 at 4, and it all starts right now.
All right, folks, here we go.
Come here, sweetheart. Come here, Miss Ellen.
Oh, Lord. Look at the cow. Oh, Lord. Look. Oh, Lord. Lord,
Step
thank
there.
you, Lord. Lord, am I dreaming?
Helen, on behalf of the Home Builders Association of Knoxville and WBIR, I want to welcome you home.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Okay. Now, if you remember, we've only known each other about a month. And when I first talked to you, I had to make a couple of promises to you. And one of them was that the house would look like it used to, only new and better.
No, it doesn't look like it used to, honey.
Does it look better?
Oh, Lord, yes.
Well, you haven't even seen it. Let's go take the tour.
As the Space Shuttle program prepares to launch into history,
The Live at 5 at 4 crew is off on the adventure of a lifetime, playing astronaut at Space Camp.
go along as we train for our own shuttle mission. Grow up! Grow up!
And get a little topsy-turvy in our quest to see what it feels like to be launched into space.
Hey, if the kids can do it, so can we. Right?
Any of the 3 of us want to be on.
No, we don't.
But it's too late to get off. Maybe. Guess we'll see as Live at 5 at 4 blasts off to Space Camp.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Live at 5 at 4. I'm Beth Haynes.
And I'm Russell Bivin. We are at Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama, to celebrate the final launch of the Space Shuttle program, which is Space Shuttle Atlantis.